So thank you for inviting me. I am here in the city of Flint. I have been here before in the Flint case study some years ago. I work in the World Health Organization. Yes, I have the work to investigate what is happening in health all around the world. I have been in many countries. I was there in a investigation about the Flint case. So I will explain a little bit about what happened in that times. In the city of Flint in Michigan, there was a new problem. The city of Flint suffered an increase in lead in its sources of water, increasing the percentage of children with a higher level of lead in their blood system. There is a big problem that will be explained then about the effects of the lead increase in the water in the children. So, I will explain how this disaster started. First of all, this disaster started when there was a switch in the water supply from Lake Huron to the Flint River. This didn't have any anti-corrosion treatment to prevent lead particles and solubilized lead from being released from inside of the water pipes. This happened on April 2014 to December 2015. It had a 20-month span. That is a big month span, and that can has vastly big consequences in the people. I will explain. It became a problem when General Motors, an automobile company which we know, decided to switch the source of water from the Lake Huron to the Flint River. They discovered that the new machine parts, yes, the new machine parts that I remember, had rust spots in their new cells. Then this corrosion infested the waters that weren't treated with these anti-corrosion protocols that I already explained. This lead and copper rule that is established by the Environmental Protection Agency has to be analyzed for these corrosive components and these corrosive elements that are found. Some actions needed to be taken. Due to the fact that these actions did not take place, low income minorities and other hugely affected this environmental disaster and were hugely affected by this. The insidious poisoning in Flint lead led to the population having a very high lead percentage in their blood. What we know, I've been in Flint in this mission long ago, and many places have been of poor income without offending. The most affected population were the poor African American populations in this city. Young children were the most affected, also because the effects of these corrosive elements that they produced were so much harsh. Low income families were severely exposed to this corrosive water. So I made more investigation about this case, and I will tell what are the consequences of the Flint water crisis in this city. One of the consequences of the Flint water crisis is that the fertility rate was lowering at the city. This decline was called the cooling of the least healthy fetuses. by some authors, which can result in fatal deaths and miscarriages. This paper states that between 198 and 276 more children would have been born had Flint not enacted the switch in water. When the change from Lake Huron to the Flint River was made, many people started complaining about the odor of the water also. The effects on the children that I said that I will explain are the next. They can be cognitive deficiencies, increased antisocial behavior, lower educational attainment, and a host of problems affecting the brain, kidneys, and also the liver. What a devastating disaster. A paper by Crossman and Slosky shows that lead exposure to mothers has consequences on the fetal death, prenatal growth and abnormalities, reduced gestational period, and reduced birth weight. Other cities in Michigan compared to this showed no drop in fertility. At the end of 2016, 10% of Flint homes still had lead concentrations. A doctor named Philip Ladrigan made also an investigation in which he says that the problem here is no level of lead is safe. The EPA, which I have mentioned ago, the Environmental Protection Agency, says that the safe drinking water is 15 parts of lead per billion. The World Health Organization says there is no known level of lead exposure that is considered safe. He says that these children are going to be injured for life. In long term, the kids will not have the ability to work completely. There is something called chelation therapy that can remove lead from the body, but has not been helpful in restoring the neurological behavior. Some of the solutions that we were proposed in my organization and in my team are to stop companies from polluting water, that is obviously, which will work, but will take years to see a notable progress. This could also be of cleaning expedition that the government from Flint can organize, which will be different. First, the government of Flint and its state needs to take action. NGOs that support any children and want drinking water to be available to others. Finally, the citizens will organize a march to pressure the government and to take action in the city. The biggest impact will definitely be to stop the polluting water and ask the companies that pay a damage-free and big deep cleaning and filtration system to be fed to the water. To solve this problem, we think that the better option should be that the government fines and make other punishment to the companies. To ask for fees, an amount for money for damage and repairs in the people and in others' effects. And then get the NGOs and finance them with the money to help the locals and surpass the issue. This will be a good option because we know for a fact that this money is being to put good use and not into other things that can be the only ones profiting from this are the locals.